Fighting in Sudan's capital continues after peace efforts collapsed yet again. The army of Sudan's withdrawal from the ceasefire talks in the Saudi city of Jeddah was a setback for Washington and Riyadh, which have been mediating between the two sides. The US administration was quick to blame both the army and the rapid support forces for violating the truce that was renewed on Monday.
We're also looking at steps that we can take to make clear our views on any leaders who are moving Sudan in the wrong direction, including by perpetuating the violence and by violating the ceasefires that they've actually committed to.
Following Blinken's statement, the U.S. Department of Treasury sanctioned companies affiliated with the two warring sides. Washington says these punitive measures are intended to hold accountable those responsible for undermining the peace, security, and stability of Sudan.
You see, one of the things with this conflict I've mentioned it from the beginning is that this is really a middle power kind of conflict. So it is the men fighting this conflict, their wealth, their resources, and their connections are really tied more to middle power countries, well, the countries in the Gulf countries, the Saudis, the UAE as well. And so the US does not really have the kind of influence it supposedly wants to wield. Go after the money, go after how both sides get weapons. But that's not enough. The men fighting today, they can't really be controlled by the US. I think they are more closer to the countries in the Gulf, and that is why, even in the mediation, the US is relying on the Saudis for the convening power.
The nearly 7 weeks of fighting has reduced the Sudanese capital, Khartoum, to an urban battlefield with many districts without electricity and running water. The conflict has also spread to the western Darfur region, stoking ethnic violence there. An attack in the neighborhood of Mayo in Khartoum on Wednesday killed at least 17 civilians, according to the Sudanese Doctors Association. It's estimated that more than 800 people have been killed and hundreds of thousands have fled to neighboring countries since the fighting began on April 14th. The UN says more than half the population of Sudan are now in need of aid and protection. But the humanitarian corridor that had been promised with the ceasefire never materialized, making a bad situation even worse. Ahmad, shehabi, TRT World.